The Double Life. A Confession. I never thought I'd be telling this story, especially not about Sarah. Our house was a dream, nestled on the edge of the woods in an upscale Connecticut town. But the real dream was Sarah. She was perfect. An Ivy League grad, a brilliant simultaneous interpreter, and stunning. She had this incredible financial savvy that complemented my research career. And she could cook anything from my grandmother's hearty chili to a 5-course meal. How could I not love this terrifyingly perfect woman who chose me? A friend of mine once joked I was punching above my weight with Sarah. I laughed. That was before I knew the truth. When I first met Sarah, I knew instantly. She was the one. She embodied my vision of a perfect marriage. It wasn't just her career, it was the way she knew exactly what I needed. I remember once getting into the car, and she noticed a loose button on my shirt cuff. Without a word, she pulled out a tiny sewing kit and stitched it back on perfectly. That's what I truly loved, her attentiveness, her warmth. She was perfect, save for one thing. From the start, she was adamant about not having children, citing her demanding travel schedule. I pushed my own dreams aside, understanding her ambition. Then things started to change. After one of her international business trips, she became perpetually exhausted. She'd sleep for days on the weekend. "Could you handle dinner tonight? I just need to sleep a little more," she'd murmur. I worried, but I'd dismiss it as stress, especially since she'd bounce back quickly. One day, I got home earlier than expected and was in the bathroom when I heard Sarah talking on the phone in a frantic whisper. "What am I going to do, sis? I think I missed my period. It's been over 2 months." I nearly fell over. Pregnant? This was impossible. We hadn't been intimate in over 6 months. The sickening realization that she might be carrying another man's child slammed into me. A few days later, she returned from the clinic. She wasn't pregnant, but she did have an infection, one that was sexually transmitted. I completely lost it. "How could you? This is from a sexual relationship. I know that." She cried, denying everything, swearing she had no idea. I stormed out, telling her to call me only when she was ready to tell the truth. A few days later, we met with the doctor. He explained that this particular virus, HPV, can lay dormant for years, only flaring up when the body's immune system is weak. You haven't been intimate recently, so it's unlikely to be a recent transmission, and since men often show no symptoms, you could be the carrier who passed it to Sarah, whose immune system might have been lowered from stress. Sarah looked at me, hurt. "You see, you didn't believe me. You thought I was unfaithful." I felt like an idiot. I had betrayed her trust with baseless, angry accusations. She threatened divorce. I apologized profusely, and she agreed to stay. The nightmare was finally over. At least, that's what I thought. A few weeks later, I was at a medical conference downtown when I saw Sarah in the hotel lobby. She was with an older woman, and the atmosphere was tense. I watched as she slipped an envelope into Sarah's designer handbag. I crept closer, and I heard the woman say, "Take this money and stay out of his life. We're done here." A money drop? I raced home and found a thick wad of cash inside the envelope. My suspicion flared again. Her next trip was supposedly a business interpreting engagement in San Francisco. She packed a large suitcase and told me goodbye. But she didn't go to the airport. Instead, she drove to an exclusive beauty salon in a trendy part of the city. When she emerged, she was transformed, hair, makeup, and high-fashion clothes. Then she drove to a baking class. From there, she went to a therapist's office. This was no business trip. Finally, her last stop, a quiet, high-end apartment building. She went inside. I couldn't stand it anymore.
I rang the bell. When the man answered, I heard Sarah's voice. "Honey, who is it?" "Honey?" I said, dumbfounded. The man looked confused. I was about to demand to know who he was when another name was yelled from down the hall. "Honey, is that you? I'm making a sandwich." Then it hit me. There wasn't one other man. There were several. I eventually learned the truth from a woman named Jess, who ran an exclusive social club. Sarah wasn't an escort. She was a wife for hire, or more accurately, a sponsor wife. Jess explained that Sarah had mastered the art of being a perfect, caring, domestic angel for wealthy, lonely VIPs who were divorced or widowed. She would cook, listen to their troubles, sew a button on their cuff, and make their houses feel like homes. For this, she received an allowance that covered her life of perpetual first-class status. She had become addicted to the status and the automatic respect. She found my life, a quiet home, a man focused on his research, too small. The perfect wife had grown bored. She found a solution. She would have her quiet suburban husband at home and her wealthy, grateful husbands on the side. She got the stability and the glamorous VIP treatment all at once. When she returned, I laid out all the evidence. "You disgust me," I said, my voice shaking. She didn't deny it. "Why did you marry me, Sarah? Why not just stay with the CEOs?" Her answer gutted me. "I tried to live a normal life with you. I really did. But you and your life, it's boring," she spat. "The stress of waiting for you to finish your degree, the tedious life, the VIP life, where I get to fly first class and wear designer clothes just for sewing a button, that's where I belong." She was utterly unrepentant. "I was a better wife to you than you deserved, and I did it all on their money. Honestly, I found a way to have it all. Don't blame me for the gap between your world and mine." She signed the divorce papers without a fight. The last I heard, she's still living her double life, moving between the homes of powerful, lonely men, giving them the illusion of the perfect wife in exchange for a life of luxury. It made me realize the devastating truth: greed is a bottomless sea. The more one drinks, the thirstier one becomes. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this incredible story in the comments below.